If you ever find yourself lost in the remote Siberian wilderness during winter, there's one place you should avoid at all costs. Hidden deep within the frozen terrain is a tiny village that, for all intents and purposes, should not exist. Every winter, something happens here that defies logic and terrifies outsiders. The people vanish, but not in the way you'd expect. They don't run away. They don't go into hiding. No. They fall asleep, all of them, for months. ACT1, the mystery of the sleeping village. Picture this: you're a traveler, an adventurer, maybe even a scientist, drawn to the mystery of an uncharted place. You've heard whispers, rumors of a village swallowed by winter, where no one stirs until the thaw. But of course, these stories seem absurd until you see it for yourself. You push through thick snow, the bitter wind clawing at your face, as you reach the outskirts of this strange settlement. The first thing you notice is the silence. Not the ordinary stillness of a winter morning, but something deeper, something unsettling. No barking dogs, no children's laughter, no crackling fires. Just the relentless howl of the wind threading through empty streets, swirling drifts of snow against doorsteps. You call out. Your voice disappears into the void, swallowed whole by the hush. No answer. You step forward, boots crunching against the frozen earth, leaving the only fresh footprints in sight. The houses are old, wooden structures, built to endure brutal winters, their roofs sagging under the weight of ice. You try the door of the nearest home. It creaks open, revealing a darkened interior, thick with the scent of cold air and something else, something stale, like time itself has stopped. Inside, the dim light from the window casts long shadows across the room. Then you see them. A family, bundled in thick wool blankets, lying in their beds. At first, panic grips you. Are they dead? But as you step closer, you hear it, the faintest sound of slow, rhythmic breathing. You reach out, shake the nearest person. No response. You shake harder. Still nothing. It's as if they are trapped in some impenetrable slumber, beyond the reach of waking. You check another house. Same thing. And another. The entire village, dozens of people, are unconscious. No one has locked their doors. No one has barricaded their windows. It's as though they knew what was coming and simply accepted it. To an outsider, this scene is straight out of a nightmare. But to the villagers, it is nothing unusual. It has always been this way. When the first heavy snowfall blankets the ground, the people of this village prepare. They gather food, secure their animals, and then, one by one, they succumb to the long sleep. They do not fear it. They do not resist. Because for them, this is not a curse. This is survival. ACT2, the science behind the slumber. The human body is not meant to hibernate. Or at least, that's what science tells us. Unlike bears, whose metabolisms slow to a crawl, allowing them to endure months of starvation and freezing temperatures, humans should not be able to simply shut down for an entire season. And yet, here they are. Scientists who have studied this phenomenon have been left baffled. The closest known condition to this mysterious sleep is something called encephalitis lethargica, or sleeping sickness, a disease that swept through Europe in the early 1900s, leaving victims frozen in a semi-conscious state for years. But this is different. Because these villagers don't suffer. They don't wake up confused or damaged. They simply return, as if no time has passed at all. Could this be some kind of ancient genetic adaptation? A mutation that allows their bodies to enter a state of near hibernation in response to extreme cold? Some researchers think so. They've examined blood samples, tested neurological responses, and even monitored brain activity during the sleep period. What they found is both astonishing and terrifying. When winter sets in, the villagers' heart rates slow dramatically, their breathing becomes shallow, and their body temperature drops to levels that should be lethal. And yet, they live. Their bodies do not decay, Their muscles do not atrophy, and when the thaw arrives, they wake as if nothing happened. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. Some of the villagers, particularly the elders, claim that the sleep is not just biological, it is spiritual. They speak of dreams unlike any others. Dreams that feel more real than waking life. Dreams in which they are visited by ancestors, by things older than time. Some say they travel to places beyond this world. Others, when pressed, refuse to speak at all. Whatever the cause, one thing is certain. No one outside the village has ever fallen into the sleep. And no outsider who has stayed during the winter has ever been seen again. ACT 3, the endless winter of the mind, not all who sleep, wake again. This is the village's only warning. For centuries, they have known that some will not return. But they do not fear this. They do not mourn. Because to them, those who do not wake are not truly gone. One such case was a young woman named Yelena. Strong, full of life, newly married. She had spent every winter of her life in the long sleep, just like her ancestors before her. But one year, something changed. When spring arrived, the others stirred. They stretched, yawned, rose from their beds. But Yelena did not. Her husband tried everything, shaking her, calling her name, even bringing in the village elder, who burned herbs and whispered prayers over her still form. But Yelena remained frozen, trapped in an endless winter. Her body did not decay, her skin was warm, her pulse steady. But she never woke. Months passed, then years. And still, she lay as if merely resting. Eventually, her family stopped waiting. They carried her to a small house on the edge of the village and laid her in a bed, covering her in fresh blankets every season. Some say they still check on her, that they whisper to her, as if she can still hear. And maybe she can, because sometimes, on the coldest nights, those who pass by her window swear they see her lips moving, as if she is speaking to someone, or something, in her dreams. So what's really happening here? Is this a genetic adaptation? A long-forgotten disease? Or something else entirely, something we aren't meant to understand? Until science catches up, the village that sleeps all winter remains a chilling, unsolved mystery. What do you think is behind this phenomenon? Let us know in the comments. And if you love eerie true stories, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join us next time for another mind-blowing tale.